Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter, numerical analysis. In the previous part we have discussed about bisection method to find a real root of a transcendental equation. In this part we shall discuss about fixed point iteration method to find a real root of a given transcendental equation. So let us first assume that the given transcendental equation is fx equal to 0. Now if this is the given equation fx equal to 0, now in this method we first write this equation fx equal to 0 in some different ways. Suppose we can write this equation as x minus phi x equal to 0. Now if we write this equation fx equal to 0 as x minus phi x equal to 0, then if alpha is the actual root of this equation fx equal to 0, then for this root alpha we have f alpha equal to 0. That means alpha minus phi alpha equal to 0. That is alpha equal to phi alpha. So for this root alpha it must satisfy this equation alpha equal to phi alpha. Now in this method we first select some appropriate closed interval around the root alpha. Suppose this is the said closed interval a to b where the exact root alpha lies. Now in this method our target is to find successive approximations of the exact root alpha starting from an initial approximation, and the initial approximation can be assumed any point between a to b. So here we assume that x0 be the initial approximations of the exact root alpha, where x0 lies within this closed interval ab. Now in this fixed point iteration method we shall find successive approximations of the exact root alpha starting from this initial approximation x0, and we shall stop computing all these values when we get the approximate root correct up to desired order of accuracy. So if x0 be the initial approximation of the exact root alpha, then by this fixed point iteration method the next approximation will be denoted by x1 and this will be phi x0. That means the functional value at the point x0 of the function phi. So if we find the initial approximation, that is x0, then using this initial approximation we shall get the next approximation which will be x1, and this must be the better approximation than x0. Now once x1 is obtained, then using this approximation we shall get the next approximate value of the exact root alpha. So the next approximate value will be x2 and this will be phi x1. Now continuing in this way we can get the successive approximations. Now in general xn plus 1, this will be phi xn. So this will be the iteration formula from where we shall get the successive approximations. Now if we look at this equation, that means alpha is a fixed point of the mapping phi x. That's why this method is called fixed point iteration method, because this exact root alpha is a fixed point of this mapping phi x. Now this is the iteration formula. Now using this iteration formula we shall get all the approximations and we shall stop computing once we get the approximate root correct up to desired order of accuracy. Now in the previous part I have said that bisection method always converges. Now this method may converge or may not converge. That depends on this function phi x. Because from a given equation fx we can express this equation fx as x minus phi x equal to 0 in different ways. Therefore for a single problem we can get different values of this function phi x, or we can get different expressions for this function phi x. Therefore, this method may or may not converge at all. This convergence depends on this function phi x. So next we shall learn how to compute this function phi x, or how to express this function phi x such that this method converges. Now we shall discuss about convergence criteria for the fixed point iteration method. As I have said that the given equation f(x) equal to 0 can be written as x minus phi x equal to 0 or x equal to phi x. So we can express this equation f(x) equal to 0 by this equation x equal to phi x in different ways by selecting different types of this function phi x. Now we shall find the condition when this fixed point iteration method converges. For that, suppose alpha be the exact root and x n plus 1 be the n plus 1th approximation of the exact root alpha. So the successive approximations are x0, x1, x2, xn up to xn plus 1. Now we can write that xn plus 1 equal to phi xn. This is the iteration formula for this fixed point iteration method. So we can find that alpha minus x1, now this is equal to alpha equal to phi alpha, because alpha is the exact root of the equation. Now x1, this will be equal to phi x0, so it is minus phi x0. Now if we apply Lagrange's mean value theorem for this function phi x between x0 and alpha, then this can be written as modulus of alpha minus x0, it is multiplied by phi dash xi 0, where xi 0 lies between a to b, more specifically between alpha and x0. Next, if we compute alpha minus x2, then this will be equal to, now alpha equal to phi alpha minus x2 can be written as phi x1, so it is phi x1. Now we can again apply Lagrange's mean value theorem here for the function phi x between alpha and x1. Then we can find that this is alpha minus x1, it is multiplied by phi dash xi1, where again xi1 belongs to the closed interval a to b. More specifically, xi1 lies between alpha and x1. Now we have already obtained that alpha minus x1 equal to this. So this can be written as modulus of alpha minus x0, it is multiplied by phi dash xi0 multiplied by phi dash xi1. Next, if we compute alpha minus x3, then we can find that this is phi alpha minus phi x2, because x3 equal to phi x2. Now using the Lagrange's mean value theorem, this will be alpha minus x2, it is multiplied by phi dash xi2, where xi2 lies in this interval a to b, more specifically between alpha and x2. Now we have already obtained that alpha minus x2 equal to this, so this can be written as alpha minus x0, it is multiplied by phi dash xi0, phi dash xi1, phi dash xi2. Now continuing in this way, at the n plus 1 step we shall find that alpha minus xn plus 1, this will be alpha minus x0, its modulus, multiplied by modulus phi dash xi0 multiplied by modulus phi dash xi1 up to modulus phi dash xi n. Now there are n plus 1 number of positive quantities which are phi dash xi0, phi dash xi1 up to phi dash xi n. So if we assume that maximum of all these is equal to rho, then this will be less equal to rho. Again this will be less equal to rho, and this will be less equal to rho. So this will be less equal to alpha minus x0. It is multiplied by rho into rho into rho into rho, n plus 1 number of times. So alpha minus xn plus 1, this will be less equal to alpha minus x0 its modulus multiplied by rho n plus 1, where rho is a positive quantity. Now if we take the limit n tends to infinity, then alpha minus xn plus 1, this will be less equal to limit n tends to infinity alpha minus x0, it is multiplied by rho n plus 1. Now alpha minus x0 is independent of n, so we can take this quantity outside the limit, then it will be rho to the power n plus 1, where rho is a non-negative quantity or positive quantity. Now if the successive approximations xn plus 1 converges to the exact root alpha, then if we take n tends to infinity, then this sequence xn plus 1, this must converge to the number alpha. So if we take n tends to infinity, then this should tend to 0. Now we know that if rho is less than 1, then this quantity tends to 0. But if rho is greater than 1, then this quantity tends to infinity. So therefore we have obtained that this sequence converges to 0 if rho is less than 1, but diverges if rho is greater than 1. Therefore these successive approximations converge to the real exact root alpha if rho is less than 1. Therefore the condition is that phi dash x, this should be less than 1 for any value x belongs to this closed interval a to b. So this is the required convergence criterion for the fixed point iteration method. So this method converges if modulus of phi dash x, this is less than 1 for any value of x belongs to a to b. If this condition is satisfied, then the fixed point iteration method converges, but if does not satisfy, then the method diverges. So whenever we solve a problem by using fixed point iteration method, then we shall select the function phi x in such a manner that modulus of phi dash x, this must be less than 1 for any point within the specified interval. So next we shall consider one example. We consider this problem. Find a real root of the equation 3x minus cosine x minus 1 equal to 0 by iteration method, correct up to 4 decimal places. So we shall solve this equation and find one real root by fixed point iteration method, correct up to 4 decimal places. For that it is given that fx equal to 3x minus cosine x minus 1. So we shall express this equation fx equal to 0 as x minus phi x equal to 0. Now from this equation we can find that we can express this equation by two ways. The first one is if we keep this x in the left hand side and we take all the functions on the right hand side, then it will be x equal to 1 plus cosine x by 3. So this is the first way to express this equation in this form. So this becomes x equal to phi 1x, where phi 1x equal to 1 plus cosine x by 3. Now the second one is if we keep cosine x on the left hand side and we take all the functions on the right hand side, then cosine x becomes 3x minus 1, such that x becomes cosine inverse 3x minus 1. So here we have expressed the equation fx equal to 0 as x equal to phi 2x, where phi 2x equal to cosine inverse 3x minus 1. So there are two ways to express this function phi x. One is phi 1x equal to 1 plus cosine x by 3, and the next one is cosine inverse 3x minus 1. So out of these two ways, we have to select the function phi x for which modulus of phi dash x will be less than 1 within a specified interval. So first we find an interval where a real root lies. For that, we find that f0 equal to minus 2, which is less than 0. If we put x equal to 0 here, then it becomes minus 2. Now if we put x equal to 1, then it becomes 3 minus cosine 1 minus 1, which is approximately 1.45. This is greater than 0. So here we find that f0 is negative and f1 is positive. Therefore, there exists at least one real root of this equation fx equal to 0 between 0 and 1. So we take the initial closed interval as 0 to 1. That means we have to select the function phi x in such a manner that modulus of phi dash x, this should be less than 1 within this interval 0 to 1. For that, now first we consider this function phi 1 x. So if we differentiate it, then it becomes phi 1 dash x. Now this becomes minus sin x by 3. So if we differentiate it, it becomes minus sin x by 3. So phi 1 dash x, now if we take its modulus, then this is equal to modulus of sin x by 3. Now we know that for any real value of x, modulus of sin x is always less equal to 1. So this is always less equal to 1/3. Therefore, modulus of phi 1 dash x, this is always less equal to 1/3. Therefore, the condition is satisfied for this function. So if we select phi x is equal to this function, then this iteration method will converge. So we have written the equation fx equal to 0 as x equal to phi x, where phi x equal to 1 plus cosine x by 3, where the interval where the exact root lies is between 0 and 1. Now we shall find the values of this table. Now for that, we have to select one initial approximation. Now we can take any point between 0 and 1 as initial approximation, but for simplicity we assume that the initial approximation is 0. Again we know that the iteration formula is xn plus 1 equal to phi xn. Now if xn equal to 0, then phi xn will be 1 plus cosine 0 by 3, that is 2 by 3, which will be 0.66667. Now since in the question it is given that we have to find the root correct up to 4 decimal places, for that we shall compute the values taking 5 decimal places. So this is phi xn. Now in the next step we shall use this value as xn. So it is 0.66667. Now if x1 equal to this, then we shall find phi x1, and if we put this value in this function, then it will be 0.59530. Using the calculator you can easily find this value. So this is the iteration formula, xn plus 1 equal to phi xn. So now this phi x1, this value will be considered as x2. So in the next step, the value of x2 will be 0.59530. Now if this is x2, then you can find phi x2 by replacing x equal to this value in this function. Then it will be 0.60933. So this is phi x2. So this will be equal to x3 again. So x3 will be 0.60933. Now if we apply this value for this function, then the next value will be 0.60668. You can easily find this by using the calculator. Now the next value will be 0.60668. So if we put this value in this function, then the next value will be 0.60718. In the next step, this will be the value of x5, so 0.60718. Now using this value, the next value of phi xn, that will be phi x5, this will be 0.60709. Now this value will be the value of x6, so it is again 0.60709. Now if we use this value in the function, then the value of phi x6, this will be 0.60710. Now this will be the value of x7, so it is 0.60710. And if we apply this value in this function, then we will get this value again, 0.60710. Now here we find that we have to find the approximate root correct up to 4 decimal places. Now these are our approximate values. So if we consider this value at the 6th step, it is 0.60709. If we round it up to 4 decimal places, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have to check the 5th figure, which is 9, which is obviously greater than 5. So this value correct up to 4 decimal places will be 0.6071. Now consider this value at the 7th step. So for this value again, if we round it up to 4 decimal places, then this will be again 0.60710. Now if we round it up to 4 decimal places, then it will be 0.6071, because the 5th figure is 0, which is less than 5. So here at the 6th and 7th steps, we have found that both the values are same, correct up to 4 decimal places, which is the desired order of accuracy. So we can conclude that the root which is correct up to 4 decimal places for this given equation is 0.6071. So this is the required root correct up to 4 decimal places. So that completes the solution. So remember that fixed point iteration method is conditionally convergent. It is convergent only when modulus of phi dash x, it will be less than 1 for all the values within the interval. Otherwise it will diverge. So with this we complete this part. In the next part we shall discuss about Newton-Raphson method. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.